Yo. So good morning, everyone. Yo, check it out. I got a question for y'all, right? And the question is this. Have you ever been given a blessing, right? The blessing was for you, had your name on it. And then you turn around and give the blessing away. For whatever the reason, right? And once you gave the blessing away, you realize that the blessing that you gave away was actually a curse unto the person that you gave it, because it was never meant for them. It was meant for you. It was specific with your name on it. And then you gave the blessing away, maybe thinking you're doing something good, but then it turned around to be a curse to the other person. Have you ever considered that? Okay, I'll give you an example. Y'all remember the story about Jacob and Esau, right? His daddy told Esau, go fix me a meal, a certain kind of meal, right? And come serve it to me so I can bless you. And what happened? He got duped, right? It was actually Jacob that went and fixed the meal and then came in faking like he was his brother. You dig? And so what happened was Esau went to his brother and said, yo, man, I'm starving. Can you hook me up with something? And Jacob said, yeah, man, I'll hook you up with something right now. But you got to give me your birthright. And Esau was like, man, whatever. Just give me some food. That's good. You can have that. And he said, okay. And he gave away his birthright. You dig? Look, we already know that there's givers and there's takers in this world, right? You know, it's unfortunate, but that's the world we live in, and that's the kind of people that we are in our human nature, right? We're takers. We're not by nature givers, but it's God in us that causes us to be givers. You dig? So, you know, when it comes to givers and takers, we want to be the givers and not the takers. You know what I'm saying? When you take stuff that's not yours, it's never going to work well for you in the end. You know what I'm saying? When you take something that doesn't belong to you, hasn't been promised to you, hasn't been willed to you, you haven't earned or worked for it, but you've taken it, whether it's by deceit, whether you done stole it, whether you done lied to get it, whether you didn't, whatever you done did the wrong way, right? But when you take something that's not yours, as they say, it's not yours. You know what I'm saying? Don't do that. It's not going to work well for you. It's going to turn out bad for you. It doesn't matter how much access you have to it. It doesn't matter if it's just laying around and just there. It's not being used. Someone might have forgotten about it. None of that matters. If it's not yours, you should not want it. Because if it's not yours, it belongs to someone else. And if it belongs to someone else, it's for them. Let us want what's for us, not want what's someone else's. You dig? God can bless us and give us exactly what we need and exactly what you want if you're doing it the right way. You don't have to take nothing else from nobody. You don't have to swindle nobody else. You ain't got to, manipulate and lie to get anything else from anyone. Okay? Everything you need, God has. And it's most of the time it's in you. You just have to ask him to reveal it and bring it out. But we don't need to go taking nobody else's stuff, man, because check this out, man. I don't want what's for you. Because for what's for you is for you. If I get what's for you, it's going to be all bad for me. Why? Because it wasn't made for me. It wasn't tailor fit for me. It wasn't designed for me. It was designed for you. It'll work for you. It'll take you over the top. It'll do everything it's supposed to do for you, but it won't have that effect on me. If anything, it could hurt me. It could bring me down. So for those of you that are in position to be a blessing, you also got to be careful who you give your blessings to make sure the blessing is not necessarily being abused, because it could turn around and affect you. You dig? And don't get it wrong. Don't get it twisted. I'm not saying that we're not supposed to give. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is everything that we do, we're supposed to be led by the Spirit, right? And so I'm talking about those situations where you have people that you know are takers and they abuse the gift. But because, you know, whatever, how close they may be with their family members, close friends, maybe it's somebody you see all the time, right? And they may be, you know, in a particular situation, but it's because they have made choices that have caused that situation. And when you have helped and you've reached out and you've blessed before, and you have seen, you know, the blessing abused or misused or not, you know, done what was supposed to be done, and yet they're still wanting to be blessed and asking for more and wanting to take, you know, you have to be wise enough to know, okay, I'm casting my pearls now, and I'm not supposed to do that. So you have to stop. You got to cut off. You dig? I'm not saying do not give. I'm not saying don't be benevolent. I'm not saying don't have a heart of a giver. What I'm saying is be led by the Spirit in your giving, so you're not abusing the gift. You're not helping the gift to be abused, right? You're not casting your pearl among swine, and you know they're swine. You dig? You know there's someone that's crying wolf, right? You've helped them before. You helped them in the past, and that the situation hasn't changed, right? Maybe it's you're not supposed to be giving them your pearls. You dig? Maybe they're not the ones you're supposed to be giving to. But in all things, be led by the Spirit. But by all means, I'm not saying don't give. Just be careful who you give to. Look, man, we also not supposed to cast our pearl among swine, right? Right? We're not supposed to cast our pearls, our treasures, things that are important to us, things that are meaningful, things that have value. We're not supposed to cast those things amongst swine. What does that mean? Amongst those that are not going to treat it with respect. They're not going to value it. They're not going to be honored by it. They're not going to be, you know, to look at it as a blessing, but they're going to just look at it as just whatever. You know what I'm saying? They're not going to look at our pearls the way we do. To them, it's just going to be another thing. Just something to get them through, something to get them by, just something to get them over until, right? We're not supposed to cast those things that are important and have value and that are dear to us amongst people with that type of mentality and that type of thinking. We're not supposed to do that. I don't care how much we want to help and how much we may feel sympathy and empathy and want to do all the Bible is clear. We're not supposed to be doing that. Because in the end, we're disrespecting the blessing when we do that. Because we know they're swine. We know they don't respect it. We know they're going to misuse it and abuse it. And we still give it anyway? Now we put ourselves in the wrong. Now we put ourselves in danger of giving away the blessing when we weren't supposed to. So now not only do we mess us up for us that know better, but we also mess up the person that we gave it to because we weren't supposed to give it. Wasn't meant for them. You dig? So we also got to do better. Dig? And doing that changed his whole life. So have you given away your blessing? Now in Jacob's case, right, when he basically finagled the birthright or got the blessing, right, by other means, okay, he went on and he went on and did what God was supposed to do, and God's hand was on him because he was the child, right, that was supposed to have the blessing. But what about those that you have blessed and then they've gotten the blessing and it seemed like things was all good, right? And then slowly but surely they start falling apart. Have you ever considered that the reason why things fell apart was because you gave your blessing away, right? Even though you were trying to be humble and trying to be nice and trying to do good to help someone else, but that was your blessing and you gave it away. And so now you're suffering.